Hi everyone, this is Katie Groves, and I want to start by apologizing for the excessive background noise. Cars can be heard and there's a lot of wind, and I also might be distracted because I'm in a semi-public place and occasionally people have been walking by. But I'm going ahead and doing this video right now anyway because it feels like the right time, and I'm also practicing for when my partner and I leave on our cross-country travels in the next couple of months. I have to record videos outside a lot as we will be homeless, and I will not have control over background noise. So, I have to be pretty good at focusing in spite of it. All that said, if the noise is too distracting for people, perhaps maybe watching it with captions with the sound off could be helpful. I do my best to speak clearly, so hopefully the captions will accurately reflect what I'm saying. So I guess I should just get on with the video now. So this is part 2 of our video for other survivors of exploitation who want to speak out online. And in this video, I'm going to be talking in some depth about my experience with handling the comments, specifically abusive comments, like I said I would. But I would also like to expand on some things I said in part 1. I made part 1 over 6 months ago, I believe, and at the time I was a little bit less experienced and a little less evolved in certain ways than I am now. One of the big things that I want to go into in this, I want to expand upon, is what I said about naming names. At the time, I had not named anyone, and I meant everything that I said when I talked about it in part 1, and I don't think enough time has passed that I can be sure that I was wrong. And when I said that more harm would come out of it than good if I were to do it. But as some of you know, we actually, shortly after we made that video, we decided to go ahead and name our parents. And rather than explain about that here for those who are unfamiliar, I'm just going to put links to the videos we made about that in the description. We'll also put a link to part 1, of course, of this video for those who haven't seen it. I will say, though, that no negative repercussions have come out of that. As far as we can see, we had to deal with some programming coming up, stuff around silence. That was painful, but we dealt with that pretty well. And we didn't end up hurting ourselves in any major way. I don't even recall hurting myself at all over it, but I know that I definitely didn't hurt myself in a major way. And so far, no legal repercussions have happened. That being said, though, I still don't know for sure if nothing will come of it like that. So I don't want to say that I was wrong in what I said in part 1 of this video about it ending up being more damaging. But I do know that good has come out of it that I didn't expect. I'm not going to go into details about this for safety, although some of it did occur in public comments. Something that really surprised me is that people who were victimized by my father have actually contacted me because I named him and told me about some of it. And I really, for safety, don't want to go into any details, but I will say that that has brought me a lot of healing. And like I shared in my videos about how I felt after naming my parents, I really have experienced unexpected healing as a result. So I don't want to say that it was a bad thing, but I just need to wait and see what happens before I can speak on it more. Another thing that I said, oh no, now I'm actually blanking on what it was. There was something I said in part 1 that I wanted to expand on here, but now I don't remember. Oh yes, okay, I recall what it is. I talked about opening myself up to talking to survivors via email, offering them peer support, and I said something about safety around that, and I failed to talk about the safety risk of being accessed that comes with that. I apologize for that. I should have said more. I think I was just in a dissociated state and didn't have the full range of awareness of certain things. One of the risks that has come for me with having one-on-one contact with survivors via email has been accessing. As far as I can recall, there was only one really big incident with that happened, and even that wasn't that extreme. But there was somebody that I got too closely involved with, someone I actually talked to via text, not just via email. This person, in the midst of me trying to help them rather intensively get out of the REMC situation that they were in, it appears that they got reaccessed and reprogrammed to activate me and force me to share certain things about my own traumas, and also to trance out and minorly hurt myself. I was able to catch this happening pretty immediately, and within a short time, just a few days, I cut off all contact with this person. I briefly tried to talk to them again, found that I was getting activated like that again, and then I shut the conversation down, and I haven't spoken to them since that I know of. So I was able to get out of that one pretty quickly, but it was very traumatizing. I can only hope that what I did to help this person was truly helpful, and that I will completely heal from the damage it did to me. But I can't, as far as I know, talk to that person for the indefinite future, for both of our safeties. So I just wanted to express that and make sure that people understand that there is more risk than I talked about in part one, and it's very important that for survivors of mind control, we be mindful of that sort of stuff. As much as we may want to help each other, there are still circumstances under which it just isn't safe for certain survivors to be in contact. So those are the things I wanted to clarify from part one. And then regarding comments dealing with abuse, before I get into that, I would like to first talk about why I've decided to keep the comments open despite all the abuse. And I'd also like to talk about my decision to not have my channel be monetized. That's a really big thing that I forgot to talk about in part one. I guess I'll start with the monetizing thing, and then I'll move into discussion about comments. So when we started this channel, it was the absolute soonest that we were capable. We started it pretty much as soon as we got indoors into the living situation we are in now with our partner. We share a small apartment together in a small town, and while the apartment complex isn't totally safe, I'm as safe as I have ever been living in this apartment with him. And I don't work, and neither does he. We're both disabled, and we've both been relying financially on his parents for help, which has been a real blessing, even though I'm not actually on good terms with them. We don't speak. And so when I started this channel, I was coming out of a really desperate situation. I'd been homeless right before, but I did have a source of financial support, and as unstable as it seemed, it has proven to be stable. My partner's parents have continued to support us the whole time, and so even though we don't have a lot of money, aside from the rent that they pay, we've been able to survive on benefits, food stamps, that is, nothing else but food stamps, and the little bit of money they give us. So we didn't need to monetize our channel for our survival, and even if we did, we felt that the negative consequences of doing so would just be too severe. We knew that if we accepted money, the abuse from the perpetrator network would be extreme. The accusations that we were just doing this for money would be relentless, and personally we decided that it wouldn't be worth it, and we decided that it wouldn't be worth it to take money and then have that cast doubt for people in the public, even for other survivors. on the validity of our testimonies and make other people wonder whether or not we were really just making this all up for financial gain. So we personally chose not to monetize our channel. That being said, many survivors don't have as much support as we have had financially and don't feel that they have a choice, and we understand and respect that. And so we want to give a really clear message here that to any survivors who are considering speaking out, if you want to monetize your channel, need to monetize your channel for any reason, we support you in doing that. It really isn't fair that people like us should live in poverty while doing all this work for free, because we will be horrifically abused if we don't. And I know that not every survivor I'm speaking to is necessarily a survivor of MKUltra, so you might not have to deal with the same level of abuse that I did, that I would have if I had monetized my channel. I still dealt with a lot of abuse from people accusing me of accepting money, even though I haven't. There was one incident where someone sent me something, and in a dissociated state and in a triggered state, I accepted it, and then I shared about that in a video. I'll put a link to that in the description also for anyone who's interested. And in that video, I told people why it's really important that people not offer me anything or try to give me anything like that, because in a dissociated state, we might accidentally click the wrong button in response, and then things could be more difficult for us from there. All that said, I just want people to know that while my personal decision has been to not monetize my channel, I respect and support people in doing so if they wish. It isn't your responsibility if people don't believe you as a result, and it isn't your responsibility if people lash out at you abusively as a result. I would like to say one more thing, though, that if I were to ever monetize my channel, which I won't, I would give like a PayPal link or something. I wouldn't put ads in my videos, because ads can be really triggering for people, especially survivors of mind control. And the last thing that I would ever want to do is inflict mind control upon people before giving testimonies about it and how to break free from it. So to those of you who are thinking about monetizing your channels, I encourage you, or monetize in any other way if you're not using YouTube, something else, I encourage you to consider having a donation link and not actually doing the ad revenue thing, because that could just make the videos really inaccessible, or the content in general inaccessible to survivors of mind control. So I feel like I'm starting to glitch a little bit. I'm really overheated and I'm really anxious being where I am right now saying all this. So I hope that what I'm saying so far has made sense and flowed well and is helpful. I will watch this over again, and if I find that there's anything I need to clarify, I will do so in the description.